Why are you avoiding me? I asked, confused by the sudden shift in his behavior. I've chosen not to interact with strangers, he responded coldly. I understood his perspective and nodded reluctantly. Guide. I guess I'll start making plans to move out of my mom's place. It seems like they're ignoring me completely. It's frustrating, isn't it? He sympathized. I could have expected this from my mother-in-law, but my father-in-law's behavior caught me off guard. It's unsettling, I agreed. There must be a reason for the change. I think it has something to do with my sister-in-law. Ever since she came back home, everything's been thrown into chaos. Don't expect me to regret leaving, I said firmly. You think I'll regret this? Think again, jerk, I added, bitterness creeping into my voice. I packed up my things and left my in-laws' home, and within just 3 days of my departure, their house descended into chaos. Thinking back on how I met my husband, memories came rushing back. We met at work. He was in sales and frequently visited my office. As we spent more time talking during meetings, I became drawn to his caring attitude and distinct charm. He wasn't conventionally handsome, but his kindness stood out to me. Even though he was well-liked, he showed interest in me, and we started dating. Our conversations soon turned personal, and he shared details about his family. Having lost my parents in an accident when I was young, I had grown up in an orphanage, and that shaped who I was. As our relationship grew serious, I shared my past with him. That must have been so tough, he said, offering his full support. Not long after, he proposed, expressing his desire for us to get married. Eager to be a part of his family, he quickly introduced me to his parents. At our first meeting, I told them about my upbringing. They listened with understanding, assuring me that my past wouldn't affect our future together. Their acceptance brought me joy, though my sister-in-law's reaction to my background lingered in my mind. You grew up in an orphanage? She asked, clearly surprised. She was close with her brother, and I brushed off her question as simple curiosity, unaware that it might indicate deeper tensions. Before our wedding, we discussed where we would live. While living with his parents was an option, I wanted to keep my job. Thankfully, my husband's job transfer resolved the issue. While I considered joining him, my career and responsibilities kept me grounded. We decided he would move after the wedding. I looked forward to our new life as a married couple and even entertained the idea of visiting on weekends. Though the thought of living with my in-laws was daunting, I was eager for the sense of family. At first, everything seemed to be going smoothly, but things took a turn when my father-in-law approached me with an unexpected revelation. This marked the beginning of the tension in our seemingly perfect setup. When my mother-in-law went on a shopping trip, he took the opportunity for a private conversation. Curious, I asked, "What's going on?" With hesitation, he shared, "I've decided to take a leave from work." "A leave?" I repeated, confused. He explained that workplace conflicts and his declining health were the reasons behind his decision. Seeing his poor physical state, I couldn't help but wonder why my mother-in-law didn't seem more concerned. Despite her usual kind nature, her anxious tendencies seemed to overshadow her empathy. I suspected that her critical nature only made his situation worse. Rather than offering support, she was quick to criticize. My father-in-law had likely pushed through his illness, but his health worsened, and he began taking more sick days, sneaking off to the hospital. Mentally and physically exhausted, he struggled with frequent absences and tardiness. Talks of him needing a break circulated, but he was afraid to upset my mother-in-law, even fearing her anger at the thought of him taking time off. On top of that, his income was heavily reliant on overtime, making the idea of a break financially challenging. "If I tell my wife, she'll definitely tell my mom," he explained, which is why he turned to me for help. "If I even mention taking a break, she might leave me," he confessed. His words resonated with me. Grateful for my mom's unconditional acceptance, I decided to help him during this tough time. "I understand. I'll send money to your account every month to help with bills. I'm truly sorry. I'll get better soon and go back to work," I promised him. From then on, my father-in-law continued to pretend he was going to work while I secretly supported him financially. My mother-in-law, not paying much attention to the household finances, didn't notice the transfers. Meanwhile, my father-in-law attended therapy sessions or took walks in the mountains to clear his mind. Gradually, his health improved, and I hoped he would return to work soon, but an unexpected event interrupted our routine. After a fight with her husband, my sister-in-law decided to move back in with her parents. I feel like I'm losing my mind living with my idiot husband. I'll stay here for a while. Can you make meals for me too? She asked. From the start, I felt my sister-in-law's dislike for me. At our first family gathering, her disapproval was obvious, leaving my husband visibly upset. During our wedding, her sour expression spoke volumes, and she made a blunt remark to my face. My brother looks great, but he could have done better, she said, calling attention to my lack of parental support as embarrassing. But with her own past marriage and move, I expected minimal interaction, so I thought living together would be tolerable. Had she stayed home, though, her constant criticism would have made it unbearable. Although she treated my father-in-law harshly, I assumed her stay was only temporary due to marital issues, and I thought she'd leave soon. I trusted my mother-in-law's kindness and never expected her betrayal. One evening, after work, my mother-in-law seemed distant. "Is everything okay?" I asked, sensing something was off. She avoided our usual conversation, and when pressed, accused me. "Did you know you've been talking badly about me behind my back?" Taken aback, I defended myself. "I've never said anything negative about you. Your kindness has always meant a lot. Why would I talk poorly about you? You've been pretending to be the perfect daughter-in-law while secretly gossiping about me," she retorted. Frustrated, I snapped, "Fine, believe what you want," prompting her to leave with a smug look. My sister-in-law added, "Looks like you're not so perfect after all. Your true nature is showing. Raised in an orphanage, huh?" I stood my ground. "I don't gossip. I've said nothing bad." "Oh, but the neighbors heard differently," she countered. "When I got back, they told me about your constant complaints." Confused, I asked, "Which neighbors?" "I don't remember their names," she shrugged, indifferent. Angry at the false accusations, I exclaimed, "I didn't say those things. Stop making up lies." The manipulation from my sister-in-law left me uneasy, and her constant presence weighed on me. As I walked home with a heavy heart, I wondered what new surprise awaited me. When I arrived, the three of them were casually eating takeout, as if they hadn't even noticed I was back. But by now, I was used to the cold treatment. Looking out the hallway window, I saw something in the garden. My belongings scattered around, including my designer bag, which had been ruined by the rain. "My things," I cried out. My mother-in-law didn't even meet my gaze. "Why won't you say anything?" I demanded. "I can't speak to strangers. I won't be friendly with someone who's not family," she finally replied, still refusing to acknowledge me. My sister-in-law smirked, waiting for my reaction. "And where's my father-in-law?" I asked. "I'm the one supporting him while he's off work. I've been contributing to the household, out of gratitude. But shouldn't he be standing up for me? He should defend me, not stay silent." I felt completely disillusioned by his lack of support. I drove to my husband's remote work location, hoping to escape the turmoil at my in-laws' house. During the drive, I kept quiet about everything that had been happening. I doubted my mother-in-law had informed him about my sister-in-law's return. If he knew, he would have contacted me. Though I was aware of the strained relationship with my in-laws, my husband never mentioned them. My heart sank when I arrived at his apartment to find he hadn't returned yet, probably caught up with work. I waited for him, and when he walked in, he greeted me with a big smile. "What a surprise. Seeing you just made my day." His warmth immediately lifted my spirits. The joy of seeing him happy to see me, mixed with the lingering hurt from my family's treatment, made me finally share everything with him. I cried as I told him about their treatment and how they ruined my belongings. Through my tears, I made it clear I would never return to that house, and if he couldn't support me, I'd be ready for a divorce. My husband apologized for not being more attentive to me, acknowledging his family's mistreatment of me. "You don't need to apologize," I replied. "My mother-in-law and sister-in-law started treating me terribly. My job didn't require me to be at the office all the time. Many of my colleagues worked remotely, and I only needed to be at the office a few times a month. I hadn't experienced what it felt like to truly live as a married couple while dealing with my sister-in-law's bullying. But now we can finally have the life I imagined." I admitted to my husband that I had been helping him financially. "Why didn't you tell me you were covering living expenses?" he asked. "My father-in-law didn't want you to know, so I kept it quiet. But now, we're running out of money, and there's no one to cook or clean. The house is a mess. As your wife, you need to go back and take care of things and send money soon," I told him. "How heartless," I said, frustrated. "I don't regret helping, But I won't go back. I'm done. When my in-laws tried to contact us again, my husband finally responded, saying, I'll never forgive you for how you treated her, and I won't send her back to you. I won't come back either. You're no longer family to me. Stay away from my wife or you'll regret it. Even my sister-in-law, who was fond of my brother, and my mother-in-law, who depended on him, were probably shocked by his words. A few days later, my father-in-law reached out again, asking for more financial help, creating a scandal and demanding I send money. I told my husband. He insisted, report them to the authorities. My colleagues supported me, expressing disbelief at the situation I had endured. Focus on remote work, they advised. Meanwhile, the pressure from my mother-in-law and sister-in-law had worsened my father-in-law's health, leading him to resign. My sister-in-law tried to return to her husband's family but was rejected. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay stunned.